A man was searching for treasure in the ocean when a massive wave suddenly rushed toward him. Just in time, a flying donkey swooped in and pulled him to safety. The man was stunned to discover that the huge creature before him was a gigantic whale, chained up by thick iron links. He had no idea how long the whale had been trapped there, but its back was now home to a lush, leafy island. When the whale saw him, it shed a ton of tears. The man understood that the whale was begging for help. Determined to free it, he climbed onto the flying donkey and dove into the whale's nostrils. The donkey used its feathers to scratch the inside of the whale's nose, causing it to itch terribly. The whale couldn't help but unleash a tremendous force from deep within, letting out a massive sneeze like a volcanic eruption. The enormous chains were finally shaken off, and the whale, now free, sank back into the depths of the ocean. As a token of gratitude, the whale sent a small lobster to present a golden diamond ring to the man. To his surprise, this was the very heart of the ocean that the king had been searching for. But the man hesitated. If the king got hold of the ring, the princess would no longer have a reason to refuse his proposal. Deep down, the man had already fallen in love with the princess. He decided to risk it all for her. That night, he planned to secretly elope with the princess. However, one of the king's ministers spotted them from afar. Before they could escape, the minister and his soldiers caught them. Hearing the commotion, the king grabbed his weapon and rushed to the window. Without hesitation, he aimed and fired at the flying donkey. The bullet struck, and the donkey fell from the sky, crashing to the ground. In a desperate attempt to save the man, the princess revealed her secret of eternal life to the king. But the sly king was skeptical. Just then, a cunning minister suggested a cruel test. The next day, at the palace gates, 3 giant cauldrons were brought out. The first held boiling water, the second contained freezing seawater that could turn a person into an ice block, and the third was filled with poisonous milk. If the man could survive all 3, he would gain eternal life. But the king didn't want to take any chances. He shoved the man into the first cauldron. Seeing this, the princess quickly took off her ring and threw it into the cauldron. The man survived the first trial. Then he fell into the freezing cauldron, and his body instantly froze solid, just like an ice pop. At that moment, the mythical phoenix burst into the cauldron with its fiery feathers, reviving the man and helping him pass the second trial. But when the man was dropped into the poison-filled cauldron, the princess was left helpless. She didn't know how to save him. The onlookers assumed he was dead, and as they prepared to leave, something incredible happened. A glowing dandelion flew into the air and landed in the poison cauldron. In the blink of an eye, the man was reborn, much like the phoenix, fully restored to life. It turned out that the injured flying donkey had traveled to the ends of the earth to retrieve the only flower in existence, the flower of life and death. With this flower, the man was granted eternal life. Furious, the king immediately jumped into the cauldron, but he was trapped inside a giant bubble and was carried away into the infinite universe. The people, impressed by the man's bravery and determination, declared him their new king.